Hello, friends. Welcome to IMWD, Incredible Moments with Debs. Guys, I'm super excited to be here again. And if this is your first time here, I am Debs. I am welcoming you to Incredible Moments with Debs. Today, we're going to be talking about myth surrounding sex. Sex. What's wrong with saying it? Sex. All right, myth surrounding sex. And I'm going to be doing this with Mrs. Temiloluwa Moronkeji, the CEO of Temi's Love Clinic. Thank you very much for coming, Ma.
Hello, Debs. It's so good to be with you. And your energy is so contagious. I love it already.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Guys, sit down there, because today we're going to be talking about myth surrounding sex. Those lies that you tell yourself, that your friends tell you. I'm going to be talking about it today. I'm going to be busting everything. As teenagers, we want our relationship to bring us intimacy, social status, and sexual pleasures. And we expect a lot from our relationship. And we believe that these things can only be fulfilled when we have sex. Sexual urges is normal for us as teenagers. It's part of adolescence development. Teenagers think about sex, and that is very, very okay, because it's the stage of puberty, and then our hormones affect our bodies and emotions, and that's when we start seeing someone that we have a crush on, someone that we like, or someone that we find very attractive, and that's very much okay. It's not a problem. But then these people keep telling us lies. Who are those people? Some of your friends, or you even tell yourself some lies, or you go and check Google and you find some lies, and then you believe these lies. So Mrs. Temiloluwa will be helping us bust all these lies today. All right, guys, so just stay with us. So, Ma, like I said, some lies. We've been told some lies that we even believe. Like this sex thing, everybody's doing it. Everybody's having sex.
Oh, really? Is that still trending?
Yeah, it is. Oh,
seriously? It's like it will never go out of vogue.
I don't think so.
Oh, right. Everybody's not having sex, and it's really very amazing how a lot of people believe that everybody is doing it. I think people say that to cajole their partner or significant other, just to, when you think this is what everybody is doing, then you don't want to be left out. And that's one thing I would want things to be very, very, very aware of. There is absolutely nothing wrong in being different. Even if everybody is doing it, I don't want to do it. Okay. That's unique on its own. You don't all have to face the same direction. That's just it. There are times when you just feel you want to be the odd one out. There is absolutely nothing wrong in being that. But let's put that aside. Everybody is not having sex. It's a myth, and it's a lie. You just want to assume that everybody's having sex, but no, everybody's not having sex. And it's even amazing that I realized, as a sex coach and therapist, I realized that some has nothing to do with religious reasons or spiritual reasons or even moral values. Some are just not ready. As in, I see bad girls or boys in coats, as in they do every other thing, smoke, do all sorts of other vices, but they just feel, I'm not ready to have sex, and I'm not ready. And those are the kind of people I kind of respect. They do things because they want to do it, not because every other person is pushing them. And I think everything should get to a place where you do things for you and not because another person is doing it. And it's so unfortunate that a lot of people started having sex because they feel everybody is doing it, and then they realize that, oh, I don't want to be the odd one out. But it's really a myth.
So not everybody.
So let's bust the bubble.
So that's a myth that we just all right. So STI is for people that sleep around. We believe that when we have sex, I don't want to have sex because I don't want to have STIs. And you're like, STIs for people that sleep around. Me, I just have one boyfriend, and I sleep with only him.
Oh, like seriously? Yes. Oh, people think it's actually a kind of a mindset that STIs are for people that sleep around. Okay. Very interesting. Anyways, that your boyfriend that is the only one you're sleeping with, has he gone for a test? Has he done series of investigations on STI? If he has ever been sexually active, then you stand the risk. That's just it. Because the boyfriend, the girlfriend he had before you,
Okay.
Could say, I was only sleeping with my ex. Remember, your ex, your boyfriend is someone else's ex. And then you might become someone else's ex. So by the time you break up with this current boyfriend and then you start going out with someone else, then you be faithful to that person only. Yeah. But remember that the current boyfriend you are with could be someone else's ex. So even if he was just faithful, he was only faithful with his ex, now it's just funny. You don't have to sleep around. You just need to sleep with one person, then break up with the person and sleep with another person, and then the other person has slept with someone else before you, and then you all go for tests. The only way you can be sure that you are STD free is go for test. So it's really funny the way things spread. And guess what? Some of these STDs are not even gotten via intercourse. There are some that you really don't have to have a penetrative sex before you have an STDs. It's STIs, because some are present in saliva, and some is just some people do oral sex, and all these body fluids, it can be present there. So you really don't even have to have a penetrative sex before you stand the risk of STI.
Wow, that's a myth. Let's bust it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will use condom. So what's wrong with that? Because I'm having sex, I will use condom.
Oh, okay. I can have sex then all I need to do is use condom. All right. First of all, do you know how to wear condom properly? Because see, it's so funny. Things they say, I do this, I do that, but you're not even educated. I tell people, before you even start having sex, do you even understand what it entails? Do you understand the dynamics of sexual activity itself? Or you just hear sex is interesting and then I want to have sex? Let's put that aside. Okay. Because I even want to ask, why do you want to have sex? Everything should have a why. But let's even assume that you understand your why. And then, okay, it's okay as long as I use condom. Do you know how to wear condom properly?
What if I watch it on YouTube?
Okay, 1-0. I like that. That's really very interesting. Yes, you can actually get to know how to wear it properly. So let's assume you can wear it properly. That's a very good one. Okay. In fact, that's sensible. Good. Clap for yourself. Now, condom will protect you. Well, not 100% from pregnancy, not 100% from, you can read that up too on YouTube. It's not 100% protection, but to an extent from STDs, from pregnancy. But for God's sake, condom, you don't wear it over your heart. You don't wear it over your conscience. So it's not going to protect you from heartache. It's not going to protect you from heartbreak. It's not going to protect you from things you struggle with. Sometimes a lot of, at that time when your blood is hot and then you just want to try out, you just want to have sex. And after having the sex, condom will not protect you from the effects, the psychological, the social effects, and some other effects. Because we're talking about kingdom teenagers now. That's just it. We're not talking about a random person that can do whatever he or she pleases. But when we're talking about kingdom matters, there are principles guiding this kingdom. And we all know that when it comes to sex, then marriage has to be involved. And so if as a teen, unless you're married, unless you're married as a teenager, and then you get involved in sex and then you think condom is the protection you need, fine, those things will protect you from the outward things. What about the inward? What about the psychological aspects of it? We sometimes forget that part and then we think sex is just all physical. No, it's sometimes actually deeper than that. And I'm not even talking about the spiritual part now. I'm just talking about the emotions and then the psychological parts. No condom can protect that. So it's a myth. Let's pop it.
Condom cannot protect your emotions, cannot protect your heart, cannot protect you psychologically.
And it won't protect you spiritually too.
Yeah.
Condom won't do that.
It won't protect you spiritually. Okay, what about, I have menstrual cramps a lot.
Okay.
And I hear that when I have sex, it will reduce it, or I will not even have at all.
Wait, what kind of cramps? Menstrual cramps? Yeah. Like, seriously? I'm sorry for laughing, but guess what? I've been having sex for 16 years because I didn't have sex before I got married. And I still have cramps. 16 years of active sex. I still have cramps.
That was actually a bubble.
My dear, you better go and get ibuprofen, another pain relief. It's a serious myth. I'm serious. Wow. Some people actually say you have sex. I've heard that. Well, that myth has been since even my days. Some will say even when you have children. Yes, even medically, normally when you have children, it should relieve it. But some things are not just like that. I have so many friends that we all still have cramps. Wow. So I beg, that is as in is hot zobo. It is just no. They've used bread to pack your stew. What to be bread? Okay, we need to bust down it.
That's a lie from the pit
exactly.
of hell. God. Wow. What about having sex to repay a favor? Someone helped you and you're like, oh my God.
Oh, like seriously, oh
my
relate, God, right? You're so very kind. Like seriously. Okay, so in an average of in a month, how many favors do you get? Let's be asking you.
A few. From a lot, actually.
Okay, so let's say by the time let's just say within a year. Okay, like sincerely, Debs, like how many times in a year do you get favors? A lot. Okay, you don't want to be imagining now. I will be using sex to say thank you, sir. Thank you, uncle. Thank you, auntie. As in, you don't want to go through the stress, the psychological stress. As in, I don't even get it. What happened to thank you? If you want to be really nice, then kneel down or say the thank you. So I went very well. So I thank you. As in, like a proper African child that you are. You go on your knee. And if you're a boy, you dobale. Flat. What happens to that? Because how many people are you going to have sex with to say thank you to? Just like, it's just like saying, if I don't sleep with someone, I won't get a job, I won't keep my job. All those things are just excuses. They don't, you really don't want to say thank you. If you actually want to say thank you, you can. What happens to getting gifts, a small gift? What happens to getting biscuits, chin? As in, you have 1,001 alternatives. There are 1,001 ways you can say thank you than having sex as a form of a gift.
Repaying a favor.
That's even, it's tacky. It doesn't even sound good. As in, no, that's way below you. Sincerely, even unbelievers won't do that. I'm serious. Even unbelievers. Sometimes there are some things that wisdom is the principal thing. And guess what? Wisdom does not come with age. That's just it. It doesn't matter if you're old or young, you can be wise. You can be. How old was Solomon when he became the king? But he was a wise king. People come all over the world to listen to him. So you young guys, ladies out there, you operate at a higher level of wisdom than just want to be. You understand? I look forward to this generation. You're the kind of person that will talk, and your mates will be like, wow, wisdom. That's just it. As in, stop it. You have common sense. You have common this particular one is a common sense thing. Even if that person, you know, ask you for that kind of a thing, you would sit the person down and reorientate to the person. That one is a mindset, is a mind thing, and you really, really need to deal with that kind of mindset. That's just it. Because I've realized that a lot of teenagers now believe relationship has to be transactional, meaning that there must be something in it for you, and the place of commitment is lost. And that's why a lot of people place sex at the very front of relationship. You can't be friends. What happens to just being friends? You don't understand the place of friendship because the whole thing is transactional, and you just want something for in return for being, rolling with someone, which is sex. No, it shouldn't be. Do you know what? Even those of us that have been married, it's not sex that keep our marriages. It's not sex alone. There are other things that are involved. So don't do that. Don't do that. It's not cool. And I love cool things. Cool things don't give sex as a form of favor. Let's bust that myth, please.
This stuff requires common sense. Like I said. How can you? Because somebody helped you and
they hold you. You're more than that.
Maybe the person even give you money and then you not give your body in return. That's like selling yourself. Another myth. Having sex will make my relationship last.
It has become super glue. Or bond glue. Yes, of course, that myth has been around for a very long time. Yeah, it's a myth, actually. Because sex does not keep anybody. Sex is not a glue. It does not, even like I said, even marriages, sex alone don't keep marriages. So sex is not what makes your relationship last. It's going to be the commitment or a whole lot of things. And remember, relationship is not marriage. There's no exchange of vows. There's no signing of any register. Yeah. So if your relationship should not last, don't let it last, please. Don't, in fact, sex will complicate it. The only reason why you're stuck is because you're having sex and you feel like it's you that you're stuck. It's not the sex that is gluing you together. And that's why I said condom will not protect your heart, will not protect you psychologically. And that is the effect of having sex. One of the effects, it kind of wants you to feel like the person holds you somehow. And I think for ladies, it happens more for us because we give in like our all, and then you feel like, oh my God, I've been so vulnerable with this person. I've given my all. And the whole concept of sex, as far as God is concerned, is being naked and unashamed. You're supposed to be totally vulnerable. It comes with vulnerability. And that's the way it's been designed from the beginning of days. And so you feel so vulnerable, and then you just want to stay in that unpleasant situation. And that's why some people even know that their so-called boyfriends or girlfriends, they're cheating, but you feel like you're committed because you've had sex. Oh my God, as in it's just you feel so like you're stuck,
like you're married.
Exactly. Realize subtly the partner can be threatening you that, I will let everybody know we've been having sex. And that's one of the things. A lot of teenagers have sex and they don't want anybody to know about it. So you want to they use that as they hold on their boyfriends or girlfriends. So you are stuck in a bad situation because of sex. Come on. You don't need to. It's not what would hold you together. If you're in an abusive relationship, you don't want it, you don't like it, there are other signs. And I'm even talking to older teens now. That's the states. And even young adults. You have no business getting stuck to where you're not supposed to be. That's just it. I tell people, having sex is like, going into a hallway. The farther you've gone, the more you feel like there is no going back. I always tell people it's never too late to retrace your step back home. All you need to do is remember your father's house. That's just it. Just like the prodigal son. He went far. The prodigal son went so far. But the day he remembered who he was, he remembered home, he remembered daddy. If you turn back, it's never too late to turn back. Sincerely, if you're saying no to sex, honoring God is what would make him or her say bye-bye, then say bye-bye. Because God is able to do exceedingly abundantly, much more you can ever think or ask. So far more beyond your imagination, it will do much more for you. And guess what? I always say, when a human being takes off a mat, God will spread carpets with lights. It's going to be a wonderful reception for you. Better things are coming your way. Better. Don't let anybody use sex to hold you at ransom. That's just it. Because even for married people, why do people walk out of 30 years of marriage? I'm a counselor, for God's sake. There's so many people that the sex aspect is good. But there are other aspects that is more than sex. That's just it. Of what use is a marriage that the man is good sexually, but he's not faithful, he's not a committed partner. Of what use is a good sexual partner that is abusive? Do you understand? So sex cannot keep any man. If sex keeps men, when people get married, they have no business cheating because at least they're having sex. All right, so it's a myth.
Yeah, let's
whoever that won't stay won't stay.
Yes. Whoever that won't stay won't stay. Sex cannot keep your relationship. So I'm not a virgin anymore.
Okay.
So what's the point?
Oh, so let's kukuma. Oh, that's the lie of the devil. As in, that's the voice of the flesh. That's the lie. As in, that voice is just from the pit of hell. The point is that I'm a new creature. And then that's just the whole point. That's the whole point. I'm no longer that person.
Exactly.
So that's the point. I'm not going back to my shit. It's not possible. I'm not going back. Forward ever. We move forward. You know, it just reminded me when the Israelites were looking at the Red Sea. It was a frightening experience. But looking back, seeing the host of Pharaoh, Moses told them, go forward. Go forward. I'm not a virgin anymore. I am going forward. I've tested that path, is not interesting. This one, I am going forward. The more reason why you shouldn't go back, because you are no longer that person. That person no longer exists. You are new. And then you see yourself in the light of that newness. So it's a valid reason. I'm no longer a virgin. The more reason why I should stop. The very thing the level is using against you, you just turn it around to become an advantage. That's just it. I say a lot of, you've tested both worlds and you realize that this one is better. That's just a no attic, no excuse me. So it's a myth
that needs to be. So because you are no longer a virgin does not mean that you should keep doing that thing. You are a new creature. You are a changed person. You should live a better life. You should be able to pick from the right and the wrong. Why shouldn't I have sex? What is the point?
That's just here. Really? Okay, so what's your why?
Like, this is me being me. I'm human.
Okay.
Then why did God give us all these sexual urges if I should not have sex?
God is not saying to have sex. He's just saying have it at the right time, which is in marriage. In fact, I tell people sex is one of the. In fact, it's not one. Sex is just the best gift for your marriage. Sex is a gift given by God, but you should only get it when you're married. And He created us. That's just it. He understands and He knows what's good for us. And for every time man wants to be wiser than God, that's what has brought us to where we are. That's just it. The problems, as in listening to the voice of any other person apart from God. It started from the Garden of Eden. And, curiosity that made Eve wanted, oh God, as in, really, and she could see that it's pleasant to the eyes. And then it took thereof and death entered. It's still the same thing. When sex is not in the confinement God has placed it, that is why we have HIV/AIDS. That is why we have all sorts of, we have herpes, we have all sorts of STIs and STDs. Because God understands the implications of those things. And the tendency that when you've not had it, what you've not experienced it. And the risk is that you give a part of yourself, because whether you want to admit it or not, sex is much more than the physical. There's a part of you, the emotion. It's just so emotional. Like I said, I don't want to go to the spiritual parts because it's the kind of worship. That's just the truth. But let's just stay at the emotional parts. And you've given a vital part of you, the trust and everything. What is the possibility that you are having sex with this person that is your boyfriend now is the person you get married to? Because we're talking about a teenager now. Now, by the time you start having sex, pressure tipo, as in complication will now enter it, then you will not, it would mask that, as in there's several researches. You always color your decision making. That's just it. You will not see, you will start seeing men as trees. That's just it. So, quality decisions, distractions, I can tell. As then I have people around you, the moment they start having sex, I know. The decision making process, some get distracted, some that is just what they will not start doing. So, when God says you can't have this now, then you should understand that you should not have it now. Having it now will introduce a whole lot of issues and baggage that you have no business carrying. And so that's why a journey of 40 days will become 40 years for the Israelites' disobedience. Yeah. And so a lot of people just get involved into things they have no business getting involved in. And then all sorts. Let's do the statistics. Let's place two sets of people, the ones that are having sex, the ones that are not, and check their lives spiritually, emotionally, physically, and every other way, and let's see the progress. I'm telling you, the ratio is always different. The difference is always huge. You can have a few, one of them escape it, they still do fine, and then get married. That's when the shocker will come. For I'm talking about real child of God born again that have ever had sex before they got married, they all said they wish they had not. Wow. And then random people that are not even spiritual. Like I said, all believers, every one of them wish they had not. And for random people, like 75% wished they had waited. Because other issues can pop up. Issues of comparison. You get married and then in your head, you're comparing. Some of those images never go. They keep, I'm not talking about spiritual realm now. It's you that you're comparing in your head. It's either one person is better than the other experience or not. But if it's just one, there is nothing to compare with, and which should be. That's just it. The distraction won't be there. The soul realm is deeper than we think. And so, sincerely, you can't just have sex because you're having it. It's not what you're supposed to be doing. They are so, and that's why a lot of people don't even reach their potential. The the energy you're expending on sex now, please expend it on other things. Especially if you're a Nigerian youth, we need that your brain, we need that your mind to produce other things now that you can, sit down and focus. Once you start having sex, your mind is on that person. That's why Eve will always desire Adam, despite of the pain of childbirth. God is using time to talk about sex there. That is what you want to be doing. And so the other energy is of thinking and giving us innovative ideas. You start using it to think about sex styles and sex parties. I'm serious. Yeah. See the porn industry now. See what it has turned to. Wasted minds, wasted, So please, sincerely, there is nothing you're losing by not having sex. I tell you, and it's achievable. Before I got married, we were like 10 group of girls. We all decided we're not going to have sex, and none of us did. Nobody's regretting it today. Nobody. And I can tell you some of our marriages, some of them, their marriages didn't work. But that did not make them, regret. Every one of us, and I can tell you of other people too, nobody regrets it.
While you were saying that, something came to my mind, but I don't know if it's going to relate with this. God said there will be temptation. Yeah. You'll be tempted. So this sexual urge thing, I think it's a temptation from God. And he also said that when he tempts us, he's not going to give us something that we cannot overcome or something. He said something like that.
I don't agree that sexual urge is a temptation from God.
Okay.
That's just it. Because sexual urge would require something to feed it or trigger it. That's the state. And the doorways to our hearts and our emotions, our eyes and our ears. Watch what you see, watch what you hear. There are things that trigger those urges. So when you stay away from it's just like stress. Before you can get stressed, there are stressors. So stay away from your stressors and you avoid stress. That's just it. Be very, very mindful. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. Flee from every appearance of evil. But do we do that? It's when they are kissing in the movie. That's when we bang. When we're supposed to flee. And then all you feed on is romantic. Don't let us even go to porn. No. As in, forget porn now. I'm just talking about romantic movie where there's a lot of cuddling and touching and kissing, and then those ones that you now see them, they undress and then they go inside their room. They leave the rest for your imagination. So where the movie stopped, you will continue. And then what do you expect will happen? Is it not blood that will flow? That's why I said, do you understand the dynamics of sex? How it happens? What happens to your body? That's where the education and information comes from. And that's where wisdom comes from. And wisdom is you knowing that as a woman, when you are ovulated, there's every tendency that you have sexual urge. So there are some things you stay away from. When you're ovulating, that's wisdom and knowledge. Having knowledge, you gather information, and then you make use of that information. So God is not the one tempting you. It is you that you refuse to stay where you're supposed to be. It's just like, don't you go to the bank and you see them counting money? Have you ever been at the bulk room? Is there not a desire within you that see money? And so why not just slap the cashier and grab the money? Because there are consequences. That's just the same thing. There is absolutely nothing we should not have control of. But guess what? Because we've tarried so long in those things, they are the ones now controlling us. You no longer have that control because you've given the reins to the thing. And that's what happens when you allow, when instead of for anything sexual, the only cure and remedy is what? Flee. And what you don't feed will not grow. So this is not God tempting you. It's you that you should stay away from every appearance of evil. Yeah.
That's a myth that we need to bust.
Yeah,
Let's bust the myth. Sexual urge is not a temptation, like she said. Guard your heart with all diligence. Flee from every appearance of evil. All these things are lies from the pit of hell that we tell ourselves, that we tell our friends, that our friends tell us.
Yeah.
We need to
And
be
then we
very
can
careful.
ignore the urges. That's just the. Do you know how many things we have urges for? It's the urge you feed that will grow. So even when the urge is very normal, especially like I said, if as a lady during your ovulation there is every tendency you have the urge, but ignore it, because unless you're ready to feed the monster, because it will always want more. So do you have enough to feed the monster? So as long as you don't have, then keep it under where it's supposed to be.
Ignore it. Ignore every sexual urges because you cannot always feed it.
Exactly.
Because it keeps asking and asking and asking. What can I say? All these lies that all these zobo that means they were like, eh. Remember, guys, this video was sponsored by Snow Cap Table Water. I like a sleep to over this. Alright. Okay. Alright. Drink healthy water for healthy living. Drink Snow Cap. Okay, guys, we're going to be drinking the water. And then we're going to see the first person to finish this water.
Like seriously?
Yes. I'm not doing it.
Don't try me. Okay. Sorry. I thought we started.
No, I'm started.
What was that? Don't try me. So what's the gift? I'm not doing it because I'm winning. So what's my gift?
Well, no, we'll talk about the gift later.
No, I'm not doing it.
We'll talk about the gift.
What's that?
Outside.
I will win.
My friends are watching this.
Okay. Don't try.
What do you guys think will win? I will.
All right.
I'm going to open it. 3,
Okay.
2, 1, go.
I give up. Like seriously.
Over here. We don't give up.
Excuse me. Next time, give me a cold one.
I
will beat you. Oh yeah, let's go and pick a cold
one.
Cold Snow Cap. Is it for me?
Too late. Thank you very much, Ma.
This water is good. Sincerely, no taste. As in, this is really, really good.
It is.
Snow Cap, is it?
Yeah. We need